Hey guys, it's Steph from the Hot Move Podcast. So, I talked about just the initial reaction of Tom Thibodeau, at least my initial reaction from Tom Thibodeau getting fired. But the fallout I feel like from this is going to be massive, man. I think if the Knicks aren't careful, they could really botch this whole thing and come across. They can either come across like one of the smartest organizations, which is that hasn't been the case in a while, or they can come across like a foolish organization. The one thing you hear about in sports is continuity. Okay. And you have to build on your success. You have to give time for coaches to implement their system with new players, X, Y, and Z, and run it back. Okay. Now the Knicks feel like, you know what? I heard Leon Rose's statement, whatever, about, they're focused on winning the championship. So now all of a sudden, I commend them for making moves, but when have you guys been about championships? Up until this past offseason, where those expectations of you guys just even get into the conference finals at best. Not even conference finals. Can you get in a 6-game series with Boston? And then you fire Tom Thibodeau and you're talking about championships. So I'm gonna play a clip from Stephen A. Smith. He went off on ESPN about the firing of Tom Thibodeau. And I'll play you guys the sound in the background.
But nevertheless, they won 51 games. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals. They improved in the playoffs all 4 years, the last 4 years or so. He has done an incredible job. And when you look at it from the standpoint of him being gone, it's like a scapegoat mentality. I think this is incredibly bad because guess what? You traded 5 picks to get Mikal Bridges. That wasn't on Tom Thibodeau. That was on Leon Rose. That's the name that we need to be talking about right now when a move like this is made. You traded 5 picks, 4 unprotected for Mikal Bridges. You traded Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, okay, along with an additional first-round pick for Karl Anthony Towns. So that's 6 picks right there you gave away. At least 4 unprotected, arguably 5. And I'm looking at it from that standpoint, and we're talking about Tom Thibodeau today being without a job.
Stephen brings a very good point. I've talked about this. People got on me when I said it in the past, when I said I made a video a while ago saying it was a bad trade. Not that Mikal Bridges is a bad player, but you gave up so much to get him, which is absolutely crazy to me. 5 first-round picks or whatever. Their war chest is empty. Okay? So, the roster is going to be airtight. You're going to have to run it back. Okay? And, the defensive deficiencies of Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, that's not on Tom Thibodeau, but I'll continue playing.
I think that's unfair. I really, he does not deserve to be fired. This was a bad move as far as I'm concerned by the New York Knicks, especially since you don't have somebody like Ty Lue or Eric Spoelstra out there waiting for you.
Right.
I don't like it at all.
Well, that's what we were sort of talking about. And speaking of Leon Rose, in the Knicks announcement, Leon Rose made a statement, Stephen A., and in it he says, our organization is singularly focused on winning a championship for our fans. I'm curious if you think they're a step closer by doing this, by making this move.
No, they're not a step closer. And to be quite honest with you, I think we all as New Yorkers should find Leon Rose's statement offensive. Get the hell in front of a microphone and a camera and answer questions. Stop being a coward, because that's how he's acting. I'm not calling him that as a man or as a person. I'm saying that's how he's been acting.
But it kind of is a coward move if you think about it, though, right? I mean, the amount of success that the Knicks had this season, which was surpassed expectations, unless they had deeper expectations in early in the year of like, we need to get to the NBA Finals, and I get it. I mean, you make those trades, you acquire Karl Anthony Towns, but I mean, you got to crawl before you can walk, and that's what Tom Thibodeau was doing with this dead franchise before he got there. Okay, and then now for him not to even be like, the only time we're gonna see Leon Rose, I'd be like, are we gonna have a press conference, like an end of season press conference with Leon Rose so he can be in there and answer questions, or is he gonna hide behind the scenes and just release statements? Or the next time we see Leon Rose when he's introducing a new head coach, right? But instead of, you should be front and center, have the press conference, and thank him publicly in person for the job that Tom Thibodeau has done. Whether we like Tom Thibodeau's basketball philosophy and stuff like that, he did coach his team. The players did play for him, and the team just got tired out. You can blame that on Tom Thibodeau, but that's not the entire reason why this team failed.
as president of the New York Knicks when it comes to communicating with the media and articulating the decisions that you make and why they are being made. This is the problem with the arrogance of the New York Knicks, okay? They deserve credit for what they've achieved. I applaud them for elevating us from basketball purgatory into relevance. I truly, truly believe that. But in the same breath, when you make the potpourri of decisions that you have made, could you have the decency to stand before the media and answer the questions? Stand before the growing public and answer the question. That statement is as weak as it gets. It emanates from a James Dolan run organization who doesn't want to communicate with the media himself, who never wants to answer any questions, and they get away with it because they don't have to answer to anybody because they know that Knicks fans are still going to show up at Madison Square Garden, patronizing their product and their brand, and doing everything that they can to make sure that they support the team. The New York Knicks as an organization know that that's coming. They know that you're going to support the Knicks no matter what Leon Rose does, no matter what James Dolan does, and that's why they get away with acting the way that they're acting.
And that's a good point too, man. Like a lot of these, like especially the mega big market teams, right? Or not. Teams are in a very big market city. You know, L.A., New York, Chicago, Boston. The fans are gonna show up regardless, right? Especially in cities like L.A. and New York. The fans are gonna show up for those games because it's the marquee event in that city. You're in LA, it's always a flex. Hey, I went to a Lakers game. I'm going to see the Lakers tonight, regardless if they're good or not. The Knicks, you're in New York. Hey, I'm going to a Knicks game. Catch you the Knicks game. You know, it's a premium entertainment option. Therefore, they're always going to print money. And sometimes these franchises can just do whatever the hell they want, knowing that the money is always going to come in. Their business is the New York Knicks for a lot of teams. Or I'm sure James Dolan has other business, but I mean, it's like he's making a lot of money off the New York Knicks. The Lakers are making money. They're making a lot of money from the business of the LA Lakers, right? Very few teams in the NBA can actually do that unless they have a dominant winning product and they're a smaller market team. But if you're not a good team and you're in a bigger market, you can get away with just being lackadaisical in the front office and throw whatever out there and make reckless decisions like they've done here, in my opinion, at least.
They have done. Leon Rose has done a damn good job. Nobody can deny that. But it hasn't been a flawless situation. There are moves that could have been made that could have better positioned the New York Knicks to be in a championship situation, the one that they're craving for now. But it hasn't happened. And then you're going to issue some weak-ass statement like we really, really care. I don't care about that damn statement. I want to see Leon Rose stand before the camera and justify firing a man that just took you within 2 games of a berth to the NBA Finals right after you decided to trade 5 picks for a guy that never even made an All-Star. I love Mikal Bridges. I love the fact that he's a member of the team. But the fact of the matter is that he had an up and down year. And when you look at a Luka Doncic being acquired for Anthony Davis at just 1 pick, when you look at some other moves that have been made and it didn't require those level of assets departing, and you give up 5 first-round picks, including 4 unprotected for Mikal Bridges, and that vastly contributes to compromising the vision and the aspirations that you have, stand before the media and answer them damn questions.
And that's the nail in the coffin right there. Again, this is the Knicks have to hit this right. The Knicks better get this right in picking the proper personnel to lead this team. Now that you've talked about, you put yourself out there now saying that you have your sole focus is championship aspirations. Trading 5 picks from Mikal Bridges, I think Leon Rose would admit that he would take that back. Of course, he personally would have never admit that publicly. But I always thought that was way too much. I thought that Mikal Bridges was a good pickup for the Knicks, was a great acquisition as a 3-and-D guy, a wing defender. But again, emptying your war chest of draft picks to get him. I mean, that alone, we're going to be probably talking. If the Knicks do not get to an NBA Finals within the next year to 3 years, and this whole team ends up getting blown up, we're gonna go back and look at that trade. You know, the fact that, you know, like Stephen A. said, you get able to get, you know, Luka Doncic. I know it was different circumstances, but his whole point was if you can get that much for Luka Doncic, if that's all you had to trade to get Luka Doncic, why the hell are you trading for a guy who's not been an All-Star that many first-round pick for a utility player? You know, I mean, he's slightly above a utility player, but I mean that's a lot, and you're handcuffed as an organization on what you can do flexibility wise. All this talk about getting Giannis and stuff like that is just a fantasy. Then there's no way in hell. I don't care if Giannis says talking. What if Giannis wants to go to the Knicks? It doesn't matter. They don't have enough pieces. And if they trade a lot of players, I know it'll be hard. And Karl Anthony Towns. Okay, well, what is Giannis going to? The Brunson and Giannis show? That's not enough. So they have so many issues, the New York Knicks, that they're going to have to tackle head on. Is find the proper coach. Everybody's talking about Mike Malone. I don't know why the hell that seemed like that's a good fit for New York. Okay. You traded a lot to get Mikal Bridges. Okay. This all wasn't on Tom Thibodeau. Karl Anthony Towns has to get better on defense. You're going to have to address some of the defensive problems. So you're going to need an offensive-minded coach as well as a defensive-minded coach as well to fix the defensive problems and all that. And you could have just stayed put and give Tom Thibodeau another offseason to really look at the tape to see what worked, what didn't work, maximize on the areas that did work, and run it back. This is coming across as a very impatient organization, like the Knicks have always been. They've always made bad deals. Finally, we've been talking about the Knicks in the proper light over the last couple years. And then finally now when they have a window of opportunity and we're talking about them in a great light, this is the stuff they decide to pull. I'm not saying Tom Thibodeau was the best coach or he didn't make any mistakes or anything like that, but you have to believe in continuity, building. I think I was watching in this show later, someone made a good point about Rick Carlisle, we got the team to a conference finals last year. They ran it back. And now he's in the NBA finals. Why couldn't it be the same for Tom Thibodeau? I know Tom Thibodeau may be stuck in his ways, but maybe he sees the opportunity of the team knocking on the door. Okay, something just feels off about this, that they just wanted to fire him and didn't like probably how the series started. Maybe it really got exacerbated when the series started. But I agree with Stephen A. Smith. I know he's a diehard New York Knicks fan and everything, and so it may come across a little biased, but you really can't debate anything he said. That was really, everything he said was pretty factual. You can't refute a lot of things he said. And it's going to come down to those draft picks from Mikal Bridges and the lack of treasury in your draft picks, or lack of draft picks in your treasury now. Okay. And then you want to dump this all on Tom Thibodeau's head. And Leon Rose, but he has to fix this, and I just feel that this is going to end in disaster for the New York Knicks. The moment you get a glimpse of success, this is how you guys are ending up right now. Crazy, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Stephen A. Smith's wild reaction. That's justified in my opinion. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.